I feel like I should say this just in case she does come, but we do have a woman from Craigslist that thinks that she's coming into a real estate pod, and we do have some fun bits that we might, start ripping on her.
Yeah, we got a real estate confession show, and we're landlords, the three of us, if this happens.
Yes. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So she may come pretty soon here. So I just wanted to make sure. She said she was on her way. So, it is Craigslist, guys. But either way, we have a lot to talk about. So
there was a condo I saw, Sunset Boulevard. This thing was going for a 1.5, newly renovated, central AC.
Yeah.
And there might have been blueberries, and there might as well have been powdered sugar on this motherfucker, because it was going like hotcakes.
Nice. Even, hotcakes are a step up from pancakes.
I can't go that far with you, buddy.
Okay, well,
I won't have that's blasphemy on my podcast.
Yeah, we're just going over like political jargon, Daphne. Kind of like, yeah, I'm so sorry about that. They do require the shoe thing here.
So listen, so
if you want feet covers, we can do that.
So pull up that unit right there. Pull up that unit that you got your cursor on.
Over here, right here, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So this is the scuttlebutt on the streets about this one right here. Oh, this is the Barrington condo. There was there was an axe murder.
Oh yeah, and the one of those rooms, it has 7 rooms, but yeah, it's one of those things you have to disclose. But I think it's about the way you disclose it, because the way that Danny usually discloses things like this is he's so like positive. It almost seems like it's something that you want to have happened in your house.
Yeah. So Daphne, when I tell people when there's something regrettable, for instance, an axe murder on the premises, I say, here's the good news about this. The good news is it already happened. So statistically, it's probably not going to happen again. And then I point at the husband and I say, hey, Frank, ha, ha, ha. And then the implication is that he's not going to go wild and murder his family with an axe because the prior head of the household did that for him.
It's also a way to kind of appeal to someone's masculinity, because it's like, you're not going to let that happen, buddy, right?
Yeah,
and usually with the gender norms, I mean, society makes you think that a lot of the women are in charge right now, but most of the time, the male's making the decision when they're going to purchase a house.
Yeah. It's a men's world, right? NBA.
It'll let them purchase the extra security that you got for the house too, so that's a plus. I usually don't disclose till basically when they're signing, honestly.
That's good.
That's a great call. That's actually really smart. Right after they sign, or like when do you?
When they're putting pen to paper, I might let it loose. Have a news playing in the background, maybe. Just let them hear it.
NBA is out of control, dude.
He really is.
He was closing something like just just south of Burbank area, kind of like just right over the pass. And he was like, oh, yeah, if you want to sign here. Yep, it is the 23rd of February. Axe murder took place in this house. Yeah, if you just want to sign your name right there and then initial here.
No, I remember that. He was working on kind of like, you would listen to a lot of those radio ads where at the end they talk really fast. And you were kind of like trying to get that kind of like that canter going. So you would just whip it by so they couldn't even really hear it.
Exactly. It takes some training, but then when you throw it in and you point out maybe the backyard pool and then axe murder real quick.
Yeah.
It's the quick switch.
Right.
That really
absolutely.
They don't even really know what you're talking about.
Or like, beautiful pool, 3-year-old drowning there unsupervised. Just slide it out. And they sometimes think you're joking. You know what I'm saying, Daphne? Sometimes they think you're joking.
Right.
But like in reality, a kid perished in that pool.
Yes. Daphne, we brought you on here to kind of have a fresh perspective on our real estate podcast. See, we're all actually owners of a couple units. I have 6 units in Van Nuys. Oh. Danny has 8 units. Where is it?
I have 7 in Compton, and then I have 1 in Watts.
Nice. One unit property in Watts.
I got a 1 unit property in Watts.
Nice. That's interesting. And you, Mikkel, you have 4 units. Where is this, in Sylmar?
Over by I got 1 in Burbank.
Okay, nice.
I'm closing on the 1 in Silvermore.
Oh, that's what it is. That is.
Hoping to do that by the end of the month, though.
Nice.
Cool. Congrats, man. Congrats. It's been a big month for you, man.
Yeah.
First Trump. I know you were psyched about that.
I'm hitting the ground running. Yeah. It's been big.
Yeah. Now we've all had problems with tenants, of course, and things like that. Have you ever had any experience being a landlord of any kind?
No. My experience has to do with writing a real estate column.
Okay. Tell us what you used to write about. We were very interested.
Yeah, new construction.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
actually, this was in San Jose. Actually, all of Northern California we covered. So
new construction, was it mainly commercial or
Oh, no,
residential?
residential. Yeah.
I'm from
Residential?
Sacramento, so I'm a NorCal guy.
Oh, so you
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We did a lot about
Yeah.
the sort of.
He's Filipino. You don't have to mind him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no problem.
He's
Sit.
an immigrant. He's
No problem.
Fuck back
an
down.
idiot, dude.
Don't get up again.
He gets.
I'm sorry.
He's cheap, but he does come with some issues sometimes. But
We think he's traumatized from a
War,
war,
maybe.
something. I don't know.
we can't understand most of the things he says. But when he does say things that we understand, it's mostly he's complaining.
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
So-
Okay, so new construction. My father was a builder, actually, and he often would tell me it is all about the foundation. You know, did you ever talk to any of the contractors, or was it mostly just like at the end, when the property was done?
Yeah, it's usually when the property was
Nice.
done.
Yeah, no, the foundation's serious. My dad actually, one time there was a young Mexican boy, Eduardo. He fell into the caisson where they were filling up the.
Mm.
Yeah, they were filling up. Yeah, it was his concrete, and
You
he
know,
fell in.
That's a casualty of construction, they call it, Daphne. It just is better just to avert your eyes, plug your ears so you can't hear the screams, and just keep on filling.
Yeah, we didn't cover that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That's
that was
good.
it was a big news article in L.A.
Because
Yeah,
everybody could keep a fucking secret on this site.
yeah, they were a little angry. I mean, the construction site, it took some heat because they took about it was like a 30-minute break, and then they just went back to work.
Mhm.
But like it was something that was jarring to the community at the
Yeah.
time, but the person that bought the house actually liked it. She thought it was like good luck.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And then I heard that they did a little art project just in remembrance of
Mhm.
little Carlos. They
Mhm.
had some children's handprints in the sidewalk out
Yeah,
front.
it was his kid.
They weren't his hands, obviously, because
No.
he was fucking dead in the foundation.
Yeah, they couldn't. Yeah, they could have. I guess well, it would have cost. I think it would have cost the construction site like $4,000 to dig them up. Then nobody wanted. I mean,
Capitalism is capitalism, and the bottom line is what matters most. Yes, MBA?
If no one picks him up, what are you gonna do?
yeah,
Paperwork.
it's a
that sort of thing.
cutthroat. Yeah, everybody says it's a cutthroat business.
Things were different back in the
It's
day
kind
too.
of-
Yeah, that's very true. Nowadays, you wouldn't be able to get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's sort of like, you didn't used to have to drive with a seatbelt in your car. Times
Yeah.
change, but back then, to save $4,000, sometimes you have to entomb a small Mexican boy. You got to entomb a small Mexican boy. I mean, it's. Hey, Tits, remember when we entombed that small Mexican boy, or they did at that site?
It was on Hillhurst. No, but okay. So now again, we want a fresh female perspective. What is your favorite type of architecture, if you had to say?
You mean in terms of residential?
Yeah, in terms of residential, mine, I like the mid-century modern. Danny always calls me. He always thinks that stop living in the past. These were popular in the 50s. You know what I mean? You're not going to have orgies like Frank Sinatra used to in his mid-century modern. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Frank Sinatra, but yeah, I love a mid-century modern. I love a good Spanish. What about you? What would you?
Well, I'm from the Midwest, so I
Okay.
have a taste for the colonial, a lot of the older styles,
Okay.
and oddly enough, I'm finding some of that in the LA areas. It's quite shocking.
How long you been in LA?
Oh, I'm going on 5 years now.
Okay, how do you like it down here?
I love it. I'm in love with the natural beauty and
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's just I know people talk about nightclubs and starlets, but they
Mhm.
kind of skip over the natural part. of it.
There's a quality to the sunlight in Los Angeles that is unique, I feel. And part of it has to do with the smog. The smog makes for very beautiful sunsets. It's hard to ignore
Argue
that
with that.
fact. But yeah, the palm trees, the way the light refracts off the Art Deco houses up in the Hollywood Hills. It really is romantic, isn't it, Daphne?
I would say so. Yeah.
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 So you're from out in the Midwest. I think John Wayne Gacy.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of just why would you bring up John Wayne Gacy out of nowhere like that? Is that, I mean, you got to tie this back into real estate.
Can we pull up John Wayne Gacy's lot? to see if
Oh,
we
he
can
always
erase all
does
that?
this. God,
I'm a bit of a John
you
Wayne
can't
Gacy.
buy his lot. Is it still for sale?
I heard they were taking 80% off the top because of the dead kids in the crawl space.
You know,
Here we go. Would you buy serial killer John Wayne Gacy's property? Clearly, I'm not insane for asking the question of myself, Leo, because right there, realtor.com, John Wayne Gacy's property. Here's an article on it.
Well, there it is. No, I think that I remember you trying.
There was only 29 bodies, Leo. Does it say 29 there?
Well, it's better than 30. I guess it is kind of like that rule of, when it's like $19.99, it doesn't seem like $20, but it really is $20. But 29 bodies.
Wait, are you saying, Leo, that due to inflation, 29 bodies is really not that big of a deal because it was so long ago?
Yeah, I mean, the Virginia Tech guy, he got more than that in one day.
Like, like adjusted for inflation, 29 bodies is closer to 7.
I would say it's about 7 modern day bodies, which happens pretty much every day in like Chicago.
Yeah. Well, what are they asking? $30,000?
I think it's something. I mean, look, maybe we could make it a museum of sorts, Like would you dress up in a clown outfit and kind of hang out there?
Daphne, do you know who John Wayne Gacy is?
I guess I'm gathering he's a serial killer.
Well,
Yes,
he
he
was.
was,
So he would. It's a little bit deeper than that, though. First, he would dress up like a clown and entertain children at birthday parties, and then kidnap children after he was done entertaining them, and then he would fuck them and murder them. Daphne.
It was the worst thing ever, really. But when you hear these stories and you hear that the guy was a homeowner, Danny's eyes always light up and he goes, I'm going to close that bastard.
I mean, listen,
I don't know what it is about him wanting to close murderers' houses.
Well, I mean, John Wayne Gacy was the kind of guy, I liked his approach, small down payment, and he knew that inflation was making his mortgage worth less and less money every single year, was in no hurry to pay it back, but he was a boss. A lot of serial killers rent, and you got to tip the cap to a serial killer who owns.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you're right. The Hillside Strangler, he rented, you know what I mean? He didn't leave much. That's why I think Gacy has more of a kind of, he's in pop culture. I really think it goes back to him owning his home.
And also, there are worse forms of insulation, Leo, than the corpses of 29 children.
Yeah.
There are worse ways to keep the house warm in January when you live in the Midwest than having the desecrated, decaying corpses of 29 children who went missing from birthday parties down there keeping the temperature snug.
Yeah, I mean, if you can deal with the smell, which I believe he could, it was just a highly effective way to kind of save, because homes built, I believe that home was built in the 20s. It didn't have insulation. They didn't even really know about insulation at the time.
What are you gonna do, Daphne? I mean, honestly, what are you gonna do? You're John Wayne Gacy. It's oh yeah, it's gonna cost fucking $30,000 to get this place ready to go for the wintertime. Motherfucker, the house cost $30,000.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna kill my insulation.
Yeah,
Mr. Daniel, the house is $459.
Oh.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Jesse, remember when I told you have to apologize for your accent before you talk to Danny?
I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm sorry, Mr. Daniel.
Listen, I don't know where you came from, buddy, but I hope on January 20th you get a one-way ticket back.
Yes,
Stop.
sir.
He's from the Philippines, Danny, and the last time that you talked, you said that the entire country of the Philippines doesn't have a property for sale. And I think that's wrong. They don't live, they're not hunter-gatherers, okay? They have homes.
The entire island's for sale. Or at least it should be. Just like when William McKinley claimed it for the United States back in 1901.
Stop that.
That's my island still.
Stop that.
And since it's my island, I don't want you there.
Okay.
Tough luck. I'm sending you to Mexico.
But I don't want to go to Mexico, sir.
Oh,
okay,
no.
I'm sorry for my accent. I'm sorry.
Daphne, I'm sorry about that. They kind of go back and forth a lot on this. Tell us more about your column. I want to hear what kind of stories, were they story based or just kind of descriptive? What was your?
Oh, they were actually factual.
Okay, factual.
It
Nice.
was all written for a newspaper. So
Okay.
anything from how to choose how to find a mortgage broker to once you buy the house, dealing with condo associations and stuff, and even just interior design. Really, just a range of things.
Would you ever give your opinion on the interior design or?
No.
Okay.
Newspaper.
Gotcha. Yeah, you
Well,
can't. Yeah,
I mean, they're not as objective as they used to be.
yeah.
I mean, if you read the LA Times lately, that thing reads like fucking Karl Marx's manifesto. You know what I'm saying, NBA?
Yeah, it does.
Does seem like they want a little communism. No, what paper do you read that you think is pretty non-biased out there?
I mostly read online. You mean in any publication?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't quite realize what I was walking into here,
I'm sorry
and
about that.
I just assumed that this so they said to talk to someone about who wants to buy property in LA.
Well, we're always
Yes.
looking to buy property in LA.
I didn't
Yeah.
quite realize this.
I'm so sorry about that. Danny is actually in the market right now. So we do, I mean, if you have, like, what would you recommend as far as, like, probably the best bang for your buck neighborhood in Los Angeles?
I really, as I said, they said I needed to know very little. So
Mhm.
Los Angeles is certainly not my specialty.
Oh, no worries. No worries. We still just want your perspective in general. I'm sorry that he went on a tangent about John Wayne Gacy. That's not usually how what happens. You know what I mean? But it does.
It's not uncommon.
It's not uncommon. Okay, look, it's been a problem. Okay, he always kind of goes back to John Wayne Gacy for some reason, and we're just like we're trying to nip it in the bud. So if there's anything you can tell him to kind of help him out with this, like maybe just get him out of like thinking that he can close this home, because his like I feel like he fantasizes about like selling Gacy's house.
I mean, it's my white whale, Daphne. I have an obsession with John Wayne Gacy, his property, and also his crimes, and it's bordering on unhealthy. I realize that, I'm the first to say, but I think other than that, I'm a pretty upstanding guy, and I treat the people I work with very well.
Yeah, he is. He did get Employee of the Month over at Rodeo Realty. So he, yeah, he was Employee of the Month. Was it February?
February 2012. It's been a while.
He was just starting out, but
NBA, let's talk to you, because you've got an interesting take on rent-controlled units.
Yeah.
Because one thing NBA Mike hates more than anything is when the government forces a rent control down his throat. And he's got some interesting tactics for skirting the regulations. Tell us more.
Yeah.
I do. I know this might not seem very ethical, but I mean, the winter's coming up. It's getting colder. You know, you got to keep those units at 60 degrees or something at night. I turn the heater off when I walk out. I mean, if they need it, they'll call me. I told them to run some space heaters.
So you kill their gas.
It's saving me money. Yeah,
nice.
It's saving me money in the long run.
That's a good move. You kill the gas, then you just blame it on a raccoon. Just be like, a raccoon got into the thingy.
Oh yeah, it's a good idea. And pest might let out a rat or two, or have a dog barking across. Might pay the neighbor to keep their dog outside for the night, have them bark.
Okay.
So
Daphne, the name of the game when a rent control comes around is get the client the fuck out, so that you can try to take the next guy to court for a rent raise. Like, you cannot. I mean, the way utilities are going right now, I cannot have a guy in a pristine Santa Monica 2-bedroom only paying $2,300. We can't. I mean, we can't have it. We're fucking businessmen here.
During COVID, we had to lower our prices a little bit. You know what I mean? Because we just did. There was nobody was around. There was literally not enough people to rent. But now it's what we talk. It's party time.
Yeah.
So getting them out is a problem. I mean, I've had some friends that have gotten real creative with it. They used
you're looking at the.
Tell them what you did to. What was it? Was it the family that was living in Barrington?
Yeah. The rent controlled unit, right?
Yeah.
So, Daphne, this was during high COVID. This was, I think, March 2021. We went to Chinatown, and I just got the most ethnic-looking guy, one tooth, chain smoking cigarettes. I was like, hey, dude, I'll give you $100 cash to get in my car, come with me to this property at Barrington, and then just cough on the residents when they walk out.
Yeah.
Just cough on them.
They were very, very much kind of, I guess you could call them conspiracy theorists, but they really did think that COVID was going to kill them. So they left, because we did pay him $100 for like 3 days in a row to kind of hang out there.
And remember, we went to the FedEx office and we got that fake Institute of Virology jacket printed for him. So they thought he worked at the Institute of Virology. And
that was really clever of you, but got the job done. It's about kind of knowing your tenants. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to know your tenants. and he knew that he read those tenants well, and that's part of his job. That was a good job.
And I can read them like I can read the fish's hand at a blackjack table, or is it poker?
Yeah.
Probably pokers. You can't see the other person's hand at a blackjack table.
Yeah.
That was dumb of me.
That's okay. I was, it is cool though. I mean, you do have an expertise with this, and I was kind of wondering if I described like a tenant, could you tell me the best way to get him out?
Yeah, let's hear it. Can we
All
put
right.
some music? Hey,
I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry, sir.
play some game show music.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
If I just reach for something, that usually gets him acting right.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I just gotta reach for something. Get some game show music. Copyright free, please. I'm not trying to pay for that shit.
What kind of home did you grow up in when you were a child? What was do you have an affinity for that house? Because I grew up like it was a smaller unit. It was a 1-bedroom house, and it was kind of, I've always liked kind of sleeping in a room with a lot of people because of that. I don't know, because it's just how my childhood was. But
The true story?
yeah. No, it was. I came up from humble beginnings, as they say. But now, I'm rich. So yeah, now I go to the strip club 2-3 days a month, and I'm comfortable knowing that I can throw $500-600 at one of these sluts, and absolutely nothing's gonna affect. It's not gonna affect my pocketbook, and it's a good feeling. It's a really good feeling.
They are subhuman, the women that are up there on the stage, Daphne. So, I mean, I've seen NBA Mike go in there, and it's funny. He tips him in quarters.
Mm-hmm. He throws them so hard from the back too.
We're getting a good handful of them.
Yeah.
I've seen him just.
I guess
I've seen him
all
dunk on a bitch.
all I can conclude is that you're trying to.
Daphne, I've seen him
to
dunk
get
on a
them
bitch with a handful of quarters.
Yeah,
Just
but-
run up and just.
It's
Daphne, I'm so sorry. I do believe your insight was
I thought this
fantastic.
had something to do with real estate.
Oh, it really does.
Listen, I'm trying to close John Wayne Gacy's property, Daphne.
All right, well,
I'm
that's
sorry about
lovely.
that, Daphne. I will Venmo you. Just send me your Venmo, and I'll be happy to pay you. We could do it now if you want.
We don't
yeah.
have to do it on camera.
Sure, no worries. You can just you could just text me, and I will send you payment. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Daphne.
Daphne, I'm sorry about the misunderstanding. It just, we try to be creative in the way that we talk about real estate.
For the kiddos, you got to keep them coming back. And the only way to keep them coming back is you got to talk about exploiting women.
Mm-hmm.
You got to throw things at a Filipino producer. It's a dog-eat-dog podcasting scape out there.
But we apologize
Or
to you,
a
Daphne.
Filipino eat dog, should I say.
I'm so sorry about that, Daphne.
Thank you.
But I appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
All right, so the champagne room at Sapphire.
Oh,
we need to plan.
fire.
We need to plan for this weekend, boys, because we're gonna go in there. We're gonna fuck and if
my God.
I mean, if they make me wear a condom again, I swear to God, I'm gonna burn the place down.
Oh.
I will burn the fucking place down.
Wait, dunking on a bitch with quarters is too funny.
That was out of control. That was.
Yeah.
You into.
Dude, the crowd was so subdued. I thought we were bombing. I didn't think it was going very well.
The entombing of a young.
He got entombed.
She was like, "What is?" I mean, you guys made her feel better. I hope. Yeah.
You guys. So for people who can't see right now, we have a good squad over here. We got Alyssa, Talia, Jesse. I don't know what she thought of you, but it's very diverse. We've got a lot of women here. It looks like a hip real estate podcast.
Oh yeah.
Except the worst things that have ever been said were coming out of our mouth. John Wayne Gacy.
John Wayne Gacy. You just brought him up so slowly. Just John Wayne Gacy. Just, do you want to pull up John Wayne Gacy? God damn it again. Oh, that was hilarious.
Jesse, how long were we recording for? Okay.
Oh, nice.
We have 30 minutes. John Wayne
Oh, my
Gacy
God.
will actually make your stomach hurt.
It's the worst. He's the worst.
He's the worst ever, dude. I
He's
fucking
definitely the
fuck
worst.
John Wayne Gacy. I've got no admiration for John Wayne
Oh,
Gacy. If anybody related to any of his victims is listening to this, I apologize. Fuck John Wayne Gacy. I hope Satan is raping his left ear right now as we speak. I hope he's got just a satanic spiky dick in John Wayne Gacy's ear canal.